Type 1. The fortress. This is the person who genuinely believes that apologizing means losing. Not in a game, in life. An apology to them is an admission of weakness, and weakness is something they cannot afford. So they've built a wall. Every confrontation gets deflected. Every criticism gets reframed as an attack, and attacks require defense, not apologies. Picture this: you tell them calmly that something they said hurt you. Within 30 seconds, they're listing everything you've ever done wrong. Suddenly, you're in a courtroom and you didn't even know there was a trial happening. The mechanism here is what psychologists call ego protection. Their identity is built on being right, being wrong. Even about something small feels like the whole structure could collapse. So the fortress holds. No entry. Type 2. The guilt flipper. This one is almost impressive in its speed. You bring up the issue. They pause for exactly 1 second and then flip. Now they're the one who's hurt. Now they're the victim. You came in with a legitimate grievance, and somehow you're leaving with an apology on your lips. Classic scenario: you tell your partner they forgot something important to you. By the end of the conversation, you're comforting them about how hard their week has been. Your original point? Gone. Buried, the psychological engine behind this is something called DARVO, deny, attack, reverse victim and offender. It's not always conscious. Some people learned this as children. It was survival. But it means the person who caused the harm never has to sit with that discomfort because they've outsourced it straight back to you. Type 3, the philosopher. They won't apologize, but they will spend 45 minutes explaining why, technically, they didn't do anything wrong. This type intellectualizes everything. Emotions make them uncomfortable. Accountability is messy. So instead, they construct an argument. They bring in context, nuance, logic. By the end of the conversation, you're somehow debating the nature of intention versus impact, and you've completely lost sight of the fact that you were just hurt. Here's the scenario. You tell them they embarrassed you in front of people. They respond with a 10-minute breakdown of what they meant, what you misunderstood, and why. If you think about it clearly, no actual harm was done. The core mechanism, intellectualization as a defense, feelings can't be argued with, so they're avoided. Everything gets moved into the head, where it's safe, where they're comfortable, where they can win. Type 4, the ghoster. No confrontation, no defense, just disappearance. You raise the issue. They go quiet. They leave the room. They respond to your serious message with a meme, or they just don't respond at all, and somehow life continues like nothing happened. No acknowledgement, no apology, just a slow fade until you either drop it or blow up. Real-life version: you send a long, carefully written message explaining how their behavior affected you. You took time with it. You were fair. They leave it on read. 3 days later, they text you about something completely unrelated, as if the message never existed. The mechanism is conflict avoidance fused with emotional shutdown. Some people dissociate when confronted with emotional weight. They're not ignoring you strategically. Their nervous system is genuinely overwhelmed, but the result is the same. You never get what you need. Here's where it gets interesting. None of these people wake up in the morning and think, I'm going to avoid accountability today. Every single one of these defense systems was built for a reason: childhood environment, past relationships, moments where being vulnerable got them punished. The mechanism protected them once. Now it just protects them from you. That doesn't make it okay, but it does make it explainable. Type 5. The minimizer. They will technically say the word sorry, but what comes after it will make you wish they hadn't. Sorry you felt that way. Sorry if that came across wrong. I'm sorry, but you have to understand. There's always a but. The apology is just the introduction to their actual point, which is that you're overreacting. Here's the scenario. You tell them they said something cruel. They say, I'm sorry you took it that way, and immediately start explaining what they actually meant. So now you have to defend your own emotional response while they walk away feeling like they've done their part. The psychology here is minimization. If what they did wasn't that big a deal, they don't have to feel that bad about it. So they shrink your experience to protect themselves from guilt. The apology is less about you and more about them feeling like they checked the box. Type 6, the time traveler. They don't apologize. Instead, they bring up the past. Every time you raise an issue, they pull something from 6 months ago or 6 years ago. Suddenly, the conversation isn't about what just happened. It's about the full historical record of every mistake you've ever made. You came in with one specific thing, you're now relitigating your entire relationship. Situation: you confront them about something real. Within 2 minutes, they're talking about that time you forgot their birthday in 2021. That argument you had in a parking lot, something you said once when you were angry. The mechanism is called whataboutism, but emotionally it runs deeper than that. If they can make the conversation about you, they never have to be about them. The past becomes a weapon, and as long as that weapon exists, no apology is ever necessary. Type 7. The self-punisher. This is the most surprising one. This person doesn't defend themselves. They collapse. The moment you bring up what they did, they spiral. I'm such a terrible person. I always ruin everything. You should just leave me. Suddenly you're spending all your energy pulling them back from the edge of self-destruction, and the actual issue, the actual apology, never arrives because the drama replaced it. Real scenario, you try to have a calm conversation about something that hurt you. Within 5 minutes, they're crying about what a failure they are. Now you're comforting them. Your grievance has been completely eclipsed. The mechanism here is self-punishment as a substitute for accountability. Taking responsibility and changing behavior is hard. Feeling terrible about yourself loudly is easier. It performs guilt without actually doing the work, and it pulls your attention away from them changing and onto them suffering. So, 7 types, 7 different mechanisms, one result, you never get the apology. Here's what all of them have in common. The apology isn't being withheld because they don't care about you. It's being withheld because something, ego, fear, overwhelm, shame, makes it feel more dangerous than losing you. That's worth sitting with. It doesn't mean you stay. It doesn't mean you accept it, but it does mean you can stop standing at a locked door wondering why it won't open. It was never actually about you. Which of these types have you dealt with? The guilt flipper? The philosopher? Honestly, have you ever caught yourself being one of them? Because most of us have at least once. Drop it in the comments. I genuinely want to know if this video made something click for you. Hit subscribe. We go this deep every single week. Like if this was useful, and next time we're looking at a type of behavior that's even harder to spot because on the surface, it looks like kindness. See you there.